Hello, Leos. Welcome to our monthly zodiac reading for the month of July 2025. We have a lot happening this month, so let's not waste any time. As always, we are going to pull an overall energy theme for the month. We will pull tarot for each week. We will clarify that with more tarot, as well as correlate those messages or discuss the astrological transits occurring in those weeks. Then we will tie it all in together and get some oracle guidance at the end of the reading. So let's see, what do Leo risings, what does Leo energy need to know for the month of July? Expect powerful change. Very nice. So new moon, this card is represented by the new moon eclipse. New moons are new beginnings. So this powerful change is going to bring about the start of a new cycle. We just had a full moon. A lot of energy is happening around your 12th house. This is your house of subconscious, mental health, isolation, loneliness, spirituality, dreams. And it's also the house of endings, right? This house traditionally ruled by Pisces. So it's a water sign house. It's a mutable water sign house. So whatever change is coming up, whatever this Cancer energy has initiated is now bringing about this brand new change, right? So let's see. We are going to do this deck. Let's see what the tarot has to say. And plus, we're going to be going into your season towards the end of the month, right? There's a lot. Let's see, Mercury's going to be retrograde in your season. You're experiencing a new moon in your sign. There's a lot that's going to be happening for you guys during the month. So let's see what change is occurring. Here in the first week, the Two of Wands. Where are you going to go? What choice are you going to make? The Three of Wands. I like the concession. The King of Cups in reverse. And the Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay. So immediately, like I said, I noticed like the numbers moving from like one to the next one. Like, so it's, the energy is moving in phases. It's moving in steps, right? First week, you're taking one step, and then the next week, it allows you to take another. Here in the first week, Venus, the planet of love, money, beauty, aesthetic value, is making a conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is all about revolution, rebellion, change, unexpected change, necessary change. It's very much about the future. It's very much about innovation, right? And it's also known as the Great Disruptor or the Great Awakener, depending on how you want to look at it. So on July 4th, Venus and Uranus are going to kind of be making this conjunction. So it's kind of like this epiphany maybe around what it is that you value, what it is that you love. This could be relationships, tangible things, whatever it is that you value and love. There could be this revelation sparked before Venus moves into the sign of Gemini. Venus moving into Gemini, there could be a lot of communication, a lot of messages or ideas around things like love, money, beauty, and relationships. So if you're having this revelation around what it is that you truly value, you then get to move into the sign of Gemini, where you're allowed to communicate that and talk about that, learn about that more, right? This could be a beautiful time to communicate and get to know your partner. If you guys are going through changes, if you are getting to know someone, this is a beautiful transit to actually ask those very inquisitive questions. On the 4th, we also have Neptune going retrograde within the sign of Aries. Aries for you guys sits in your 9th house. This is your house of higher learning. So anytime we have a retrograde, the energy is going to be directed inward. And it could be that with Neptune is kind of the planet of boundless illusion, boundless dreams, boundless love. Like there's no bound, there's no limit to it, which can make things, it's always, Neptune always feels like that fine line. there's no real clear distinction between what's real versus what isn't. And this energy is then going to be, when it's moving direct, I always imagine like there's this slight mist that's lingering over the ground. We can't see where we are. We can't really see things clearly, but it does feel like when it goes retrograde, it's actually going to make things much clearer, and we're going to begin to reevaluate and rethink things. So you may be beginning to go over and rethink maybe your own personal belief systems, because this is your ninth house. Personal belief systems, if you're learning new things, higher learning, reevaluate, reviewing what it is that you've been learning, reviewing what it is that you've been moving towards and how you've been expanding, right? How your sense of self has been expanding. On the second week that we've got the Three of Wands, this is kind of like, I didn't even explain the first week. The Two of Wands is kind of like making a decision. A choice has been made here with the Ace of Wands, and now you need to know, now you're looking to see, where do I want to go? Wands represents inspiration, intuition, creativity, spirituality, growth, like personal growth, things like personal freedom. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go with this future? A new start has already occurred here with the Ace of Wands, the one that is planted in the ground. The new start has already happened, but now you're trying to look at this situation in its entirety, and you're trying to decide on which road to take. What path am I going to take? Here in the second week, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands represents waiting on your ships to come in, waiting for the right time, or waiting to see how things develop. On the 7th, we have a very powerful energy happening on the 7th. We've got the 7 quote unquote portal that people like to say. In numerology, 7 represents spiritual growth. But Uranus, again, the planet known as the Great Awakener or the Great Disruptor, is moving into the sign of Gemini until 2033. This is about a 13-year transit. With retrogrades, I think this one is going to last about 8 years, 2033. This one's going to last about 8 years. It's been in the sign of, where is it now? It's in the sign of Taurus. It's been in Taurus for almost 13 years. So what's going to happen is that Uranus is going to shake things up. And within the sign of Gemini, for you guys, this is happening in your 11th house. This is your house of community. This is your house of humanitarianism. This is your house of close-knit circles, like friendship circles. This is your house of like hopes and dreams, what you aspire to, the future. Okay. Gemini is all about that. So it could be that going into the sign of Gemini, things are going to really shake up. You could find yourself in new friendship circles. You could find yourself in new communities that you weren't expecting to find yourself in. Like there's a lot of, with this being in the 11th house, Uranus traditionally rules the 11th house. It really does seem like this is going to be a much more positive aspect for you guys. And here in that week, we've got the Three of Wands, which is a lovely card to be like, I'm just going to wait and see how things develop. On the 10th, we've got a full moon within the sign of Capricorn. Full moons are a buildup of energy. They are, the energy begins to build, and the light of the moon begins to trigger thoughts, trigger emotions that tend to show us what's no longer working, show us things that need to be released when the energy starts to wane. For you guys, Capricorn sits in your 6th house. This is your day-to-day life. What's changing? What do you need to let go of? What change or what needs to change within your day-to-day in order for you to be a little bit more structured, maybe to be a little bit more disciplined, maybe to be a little bit more long-term goal oriented, right? What do you think is actually going to end up changing there? Or what do you feel like needs to change? The full moon is going to reveal that for you. And it could be that you're just like, I'm going to wait and see. Changes are already occurring. We already see that. Changes are already occurring. I'm going to wait and see how they unfold before I make any decisions. Here in the 3rd week, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Knights are the action takers of the tarot. This could be stagnant energy, maybe because you're waiting too long. Maybe the Three of Wands turns into the Three of Wands in reverse, which represents hesitancy. So this could mean that the Knight of Cups represents like stagnant energy. The energy is just not going anywhere. It's not moving anywhere. And if that's the case, it's because yes, you need to evaluate the situation, and yes, you need to see how things develop, but you also need to be taking action, which we see here with the Wands as well. Wands is about taking action. But if you're just like, I feel inspired, I know change is coming, I know that I want change, but I'm just going to wait and let it happen, the energy itself is going to become stagnant here with the Knight of Cups in reverse. The energy is going to become stagnant, and you're not going to actually take any action towards either healing, love, peace, joy, happiness, all of the things that fill our heart, right? Because cups represents our emotions. All of these things that provide emotional fulfillment, you're not going to take any action on because the energy is just now stagnating. This can, for some people, represent maybe someone is not being truthful in their actions, someone is not being genuine in the actions, either towards you, or they're not being genuine in their actions. So here, just be mindful of that. Here in the third week, Saturn is going to go retrograde. So Saturn is discipline, time, structure, it's karma. Saturn is known as the timekeeper or the taskmaster. It's a lot about discipline and long term, like how things play out long term. It's now going to go retrograde within the sign of Aries. Again, this is your ninth house of higher learning. If you're in the process of learning new things or expanding yourself, Saturn is going, when it goes retrograde, it's going to be asking you, am I pursuing what it is that I really love? Am I listening to my intuition? Am I doing the things that bring my heart joy? And if you're not, Saturn is going to reveal that to you. On the 18th, Mercury does go retrograde within the sign of Leo. So the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication is going retrograde within your sign. You could be rethinking or even second guessing yourself, right? Maybe this is a time for you to do a little bit of inner work, a little bit of self-reflective work with Mercury going into retrograde in your sign. Here in the last week, we've got the Seven of Swords in reverse. This represents that a truth is being revealed. Now that can come in the form of someone telling you a truth, someone showing you, revealing who they really are. This could come in the form of you revealing who you really are, like taking off a mask, taking off a false mask. This could also represent that if someone is being deceptive around you, that deception is going to come to light. Or it's also going to reveal potentially that you yourself are coming into this state of realization. On this week, Leo season begins on the 22nd. So your season is going to kick off. Anytime we switch into a new season, the themes and qualities of that sign move into that season. Like they become center stage. So that happens on the 22nd. On the 24th, the new moon occurs within the sign of Leo. Like I said, we've got a new moon energy here. There's a new beginning that is starting. This is happening in your first house. So your sense of identity, how you show up in the world, is shifting, right? This is an opportunity to set intentions that if you're not in alignment with who you want to be, maybe in the future, if you're not in alignment with who you want to be, or who you feel you really are, this is the new moon for you to set intentions on how to change that. How can I change that? How can I get back to being who it is that I really want to be? How can I get back to revealing my authenticity here? Right? On the 30th, Chiron is going to go retrograde within the sign of Aries. Chiron is known as the wounded warrior. And within the sign of Aries, these are wounds around our identity, our sense of self. Aries rules the I am. Who are we? Right? So anytime you could be when it comes to, again, your ninth house is being activated. So when it comes to your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs, moral beliefs, beliefs in your in the outside world, things like injustice or things that you feel like aren't right, these are going to kind of being these wounds and kind of this second guessing and this reevaluation of who you are in this aspect is being reevaluated with Chiron going retrograde. On the 31st, Venus, the planet of love, money, and beauty, is moving into the sign of Cancer, right? So Cancer, again, for you guys, is your 12th house. This, I think, feels a lot like self-love. It feels a lot like putting things like your mental health first. It feels like maybe even tapping into a deeper spiritual connection, a much more healing energy for you guys is kind of what this feels like, okay? And then on 31st, Mercury is going to create a cazimi with the sun. Cazimis always happen when a planet comes in very close proximity to that sun, and it brings like this revelation. It amplifies the energy of that planet, and in this case it's Mercury, but remember, Mercury is retrograde. So I really do feel like with the Seven of Swords in reverse that this realization, this reevaluation of am I being true to who I am, is kind of being highlighted here in this fourth week. That's between the cards at play and between the astrological energy. That's just the initial feeling that I'm getting. But let's see what other energies we have in store. Here in the first week, the Two of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Four of Coins. So it definitely feels like the Two of Wands, like you're ready to move forward. The Six of Wands represents that success is waiting for you, but you have to decide on whether you're actually going to pursue it. How do you want to pursue this feeling of success, of feeling successful, of feeling like you've grown and accomplished things that maybe you were wanting to accomplish? And the Four of Coins is asking you to actually open up. This could also represent like the Six of Swords or the Six of Wands represents like feeling supported by those around you, feeling acclaim, like feeling that those accolades and those claps, and just kind of very much, because this is Leo energy here, like very much allowing yourself to kind of be praised, to receive those compliments, opening yourself up in order to receive that, right? Allow yourself, like choose. This is if that is part of the journey, if you're looking to embark on a journey that's going to require you to actually, if you want to achieve success, but you don't want to be acknowledged for that success, like that's a very contradictory thing. It's a very contradictory thing. And right now it feels like you guys are being prompted to make that choice. I want to be successful. I want this support. I want these accolades. I want this. I want the claps. I want the attaboys. But am I open enough to receive them? And the Four of Coins is like you need to let go of something. There is something that you need to leave in your past so that you can actually move towards the success that you're looking for. Okay. Here in the second week, the Three of Wands, this is the week of the full moon. The Seven of Coins. And the Six of Swords. So definitely, so we've got 6 and a 6 here. This feels like you're allowing yourself to move on from any angst or anxiety. It's almost like since the full moon is happening in your 6th house, you're moving away from the things that just cause you stress and anxiety. Like if you if there are certain tasks that you feel obligated to during the day, but you notice that they create a little bit of angst or frustration or anxiety, you're like, you know what? These aren't necessary anymore, and I'm just going to stop doing them. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't fill my cup, as cliche as that sounds. I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to see come to fruition. I'm not going to continue to plant seeds. I'm not going to continue to water things or allow things to grow that are not going to pay off in the future. Right? And then the Three of Wands here is like you're deciding which ship to come. Like you are waiting to see how things develop. But at the same time, you're like, you know what? I'm deciding how I'm going to ride these waves. I'm deciding which ship I'm going to hop on. Because ships are coming in. It's just a matter of, is this ship right for me? Am I making the right choices? Am I watering, am I tending to the things that are actually going to pay off in the future? And if you're not, then it's time to move on and it's time to leave those things behind. Again, specifically, this is going to revolve around things that are incorporated in your day to day. Like whether that is habits, hobbies, things you feel obligated to. If it doesn't spark joy, if it doesn't fill you up, if it doesn't inspire creativity, it's probably time for you guys to leave it behind for now. The Knight of Cups in reverse, Justice, and the King of Wands in reverse. So this feels like, if you feel like the energy is very stagnant, you're like, why isn't it going anywhere? I feel like I'm doing all of the things. But the King of Wands is standing there going, are you though? Are you doing all of the things? Because Justice is saying, these are what you're feeling now, the stagnant energy is life reflecting back to you. If you're not pursuing the things that, like I said, fill you up, you're going to become tired, burnout, and frustrated like the King of Wands in reverse. So if that is how you feel, it's because you're not pursuing anything that actually brings you joy. You're not pursuing anything that brings you peace. You're not pursuing anything that fills your cup. Okay? And so the energy here in the third week, with Saturn going retrograde, Mercury going retrograde, it's really going to begin to reveal this to you. It's going to be like this realization, be like, oh, this is why I feel so frustrated. This is why I feel so burnout. This is why I feel so unfulfilled. And it's because I'm not taking any action towards the things that actually bring me joy. Here in the fourth week, the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Page of Coins, and the Two of Wands in reverse. Okay. So the Seven of Swords, like I said, it's revealing a truth. It's revealing maybe who someone really is to you. I don't quite get that vibe. This feels more personal and it feels more internal for you guys, specifically the week of the new moon in your sign. Because the new moon and the page go hand in hand together. The new moon represents a new opportunity or a new beginning, which we also have here. And the page is saying, hey, there's this opportunity here for either financial prosperity, something to actually make money with. It's an opportunity maybe to start working on my health, because Pentacles represents tangible things, and our tangible things are our material world, money, relationships, and health. Those things encompass our material world. So within this material world, the page is providing you this message. Be like, look, there's this new opportunity here. But the Two of Wands in reverse is like, you need to evaluate this new beginning properly. The Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Listen to your intuition and don't allow things with the Five of Swords. Don't allow feeling guilty to stop you. Don't allow your pride, Leo, to stop you from doing the things that actually bring you fulfillment. If you need support with the Six of Wands, get it. Don't let your pride stop you. If you need to pursue things that bring you joy, bring you peace, if you need to put yourself first, don't let guilt or pride stop that, because if it does, if you do, you're going to find yourself increasingly more and more frustrated towards the end of the month. Listen to your intuition. Be that nurturing and healing space for yourself. And as a result, big changes are going to ultimately end up happening for you guys. Let's wrap it up. Fighting spirit. If you want success, you have to allow yourself to go for it, which means opening up and maybe receiving support, which means opening up, letting your guard down, letting go of the past, and allowing yourself to move on. Fight for the stability that you're looking for. Okay? Here, oh, I didn't even cut the deck. That one just fell out. Boss up. This is card number 5. 5 represents change. It represents challenge. It represents conflict. This could be for you guys specifically around change. It's time to move on. Leo, you guys are fixed fire. You're not real keen on changing. You're not real keen on changing, but just because it inspired you a year ago, just because it inspired you a year ago, just because it gave you life and allowed you to grow a year ago, does not mean that it is currently meant for you now. We don't stop growing. We have to continue to evolve. And if you don't move away from the things on your day-to-day that don't create that fire, that don't ignite that flame, then the energy itself is going to become stagnant. So you need to boss up and do what you need to do to put yourself first. The day you plant the seed. This is like a thought. The day you plant the seed, whatever's coming up for you with Mercury going retrograde, with Saturn going retrograde, whatever is coming up for you, this was something I think that was planted like a long time ago. You're just seeing how you're seeing life reflecting back to you. It could mean that the reason it's reminding you of why you started this journey in the first place. Why did you start this journey? Was it because you felt unfulfilled? Was it because you were tired and burnout and frustrated? Why did you start this journey? Because where you are now is a reflection of the choices that have been made. That's what justice does. Justice is non-biased. It is the scales. What choices outweigh the other? What consequences outweigh the other? And then we make those choices. And as we make those choices have a ripple effect. And ultimately, justice is there being like, look, these are the consequences, for better, for worse, of the choices that have been made. This is the result of the seed that you planted. Okay? Here in the last week, hope is on the horizon. Hope is on the horizon. I almost want to say, like, maybe you receive an opportunity for a new job, or ultimately you receive an opportunity maybe for more discipline. This page it doesn't feel immediately like receiving money. That's not what it feels like. The cards around it don't support that. But this feels almost like a message of maybe recognizing that you still need more discipline, recognizing that you don't know everything. The page itself feels very positive, and the message that it's bringing feels very, very positive, but not in the way of financial gain. This feels very much, it feels like there's something much deeper that's occurring. And it could be that maybe it's a message of hope, a message that hope is on the horizon for you guys. So, and what I love here the most is like what she's got in her hand. It's like this light, these beams of light coming around. It's the same beams of light that are appearing from around this eclipse. You can't see it now, but there's light behind this. You can't see it now, but there's hope on the horizon. Okay? So I truly hope this helped. I hope you guys have an incredible month, and we will see you next time.